Samir Khan was a hardworking auto mechanic in Mumbai. A 32-year-old man with a wife and 2 kids, he lived a simple but content life. But in March 2019, Samir vanished without a trace. What seemed like a routine missing persons case soon turned into one of the most disturbing investigations the city had seen. On the evening of March 15, 2019, Samir closed his garage as usual at 9 p.m. He called his wife, telling her he was on his way home, but he never arrived. His phone was switched off shortly after the call, and by morning, his worried wife filed a missing persons report. At first, the police assumed it was a case of voluntary disappearance, perhaps a financial issue or personal dispute. But those who knew Samir swore he had no enemies and was not in debt. His bank account and phone records showed nothing suspicious. CCTV footage from his garage showed him leaving, but a block away, he seemed to vanish into thin air. A week later, the investigation took a shocking turn. A rickshaw driver came forward, claiming he had dropped a man resembling Samir near a construction site on the night he disappeared. When police searched the area, they discovered a blood-stained wrench, the same kind used in Samir's garage. DNA tests confirmed it was his blood. Detectives shifted focus to Samir's last customers, eventually zeroing in on a man named Arif Sheikh, a frequent visitor to the garage. When questioned, Arif seemed nervous and inconsistent. A deeper probe revealed that Arif and Samir had argued over a pending payment. Arif finally broke under pressure. He confessed that on the night of March 15, he had asked Samir to come with him, pretending he needed urgent car repairs. Once at the construction site, a heated argument turned violent. Arif struck Samir with a wrench in a fit of rage. Panicking, he disposed of the body in an unfinished well at the site. Samir's remains were recovered from the well. Arif Sheikh was arrested and later sentenced to life in prison for murder. The case served as a grim reminder that sometimes, the people we trust the most can turn out to be the deadliest threats. Samir Khan's family was left with a void that could never be filled. But at least, they got the closure they needed, knowing justice had been served. The tragedy of Samir Khan was not just another case for the police, it became a lesson in how even a small act of betrayal could lead to an irreversible loss. His wife, Aisha, struggled to rebuild her life without him. His children, too young to fully comprehend, would grow up only with memories of their father. Every time Aisha walked past the garage, she would remember the man who worked tirelessly to provide for his family. The once busy workshop stood abandoned for months, a grim reminder of the night that changed everything. Meanwhile, Arif Sheikh sat behind bars, his life shattered by a moment of uncontrollable anger. He had not planned to kill Samir, but in that single heated moment, he had destroyed not just one life, but many. The courts found no mercy in his plea for a reduced sentence. The wrench, once a tool of labor and livelihood, had become the instrument of his downfall. Neighbors recalled how Samir was always willing to help anyone in need, never expecting anything in return. His absence left an irreplaceable gap in the community. Some said they still saw Aisha sitting by the window, waiting, as if hoping for some miracle, some reversal of fate. But fate had made its decision, and justice had already been served. In the months that followed, Aisha tried to move on, but life was never the same. The garage that once buzzed with activity was now locked up, collecting dust. Samir's younger brother, Faisal, considered reopening it, but the memories were too painful. Eventually, Faisal moved to another city, hoping to escape the haunting reminders of his brother's untimely demise. The police officers who worked on the case often spoke about it. Some of them had investigated hundreds of cases, but Samir's story stuck with them. It wasn't a crime of premeditation or revenge, it was a crime of impulse, an ordinary dispute that turned deadly. Many officers admitted that cases like this were the hardest to accept because they reminded everyone how fragile life truly was. One moment, Samir was closing his shop and heading home to his family. The next, he was gone forever. Even in prison, Arif Sheikh found no peace. Rumors spread that he was unable to sleep at night, haunted by what he had done. Fellow inmates whispered that he often woke up screaming, as if reliving the moment he struck Samir with the wrench. Some believed it was guilt eating him alive. Others thought it was the realization that one mistake had cost him everything. The world outside moved on, but for Arif, time stood still within the cold, gray walls of his cell. Aisha eventually found the strength to start working. She took up a job at a local tailor shop to support her children. Though life was hard, she refused to give up. She often told her children stories of their father, keeping his memory alive. Samir may have been taken from them, but his love and kindness lived on in their hearts. To this day, people in Mumbai still talk about the vanishing of Samir Khan. It was a story of betrayal, loss, and ultimately, justice. But for those who knew him, it was more than just another case. It was a painful reminder of how quickly a life can be stolen and how, sometimes, justice is the only solace left behind.